morning, I'm Samantha Hayes and I'm from WA NILS. I'm the Training and Marketing Officer. I'm going to go over some general information about WA NILS. You will have access to this information from our website, but this is just a personal touch to let you know exactly where we're coming from. Okay, WA NILS is a community-based organisation. We're not for profit, and we support low-income earners in safe, affordable and fair credit. A lot of people on low income have not got the opportunity to use mainstream banking because of their financial situation. So therefore, in the times when people need a new product, we can be available to give them the funds to purchase those items. In our history, we've been around for a long time. Many people that have been in community services for a long time would remember us, or probably refer to us as the white goods people, because that was generally what we were supplying people with, was the white goods, the fridges, the washing machines, the dryers, all those things to help support the children in the home. Well, we've made some changes along the way because the needs of our customers has definitely increased. So we're not just white goods anymore. We can do lots of different things. We can do glasses, wheelchairs, gophers, dental work, car repairs, school excursions, computers, solar panels, training, lots of different opportunities for people to actually support themselves without getting into further debt. In order to be eligible for a WA NILS loan, you must be a low income earner, and that's defined by the Commonwealth healthcare card and a pension card, or a pension card, beg your pardon. The clients must be over 18 years of age in receipt of the cards. They must have lived at their accommodation for at least 3 months. And we have got some flexibility around this, especially for people that are involved in supported housing, such as the Homes West Foundation housing or community housing support. We also have some parameters for people that are boarders within a property. And we also have to make sure that our clients have got the ability to repay the loan. We are very serious about not putting people into further financial hardship, and all our guidelines support this responsible lending principles. So you might be asking, what are the loans for? We've got a number of categories, and these are all on our website as well. So we've got household essentials. That's your washers and your dryers, your furniture. You might need some beds, you might need heaters, air conditioning, those sorts of things. Health and wellbeing, it's another high demand area, especially for people that particularly need glasses, they're never cheap, gophers or supportive aids, dental work, services. So we've got a category here that really hits the nail on the head for people in need. You never know when something's going to go wrong and you need some car repairs, so we're available for that. People that are planning to do driving lessons. For medical equipment, we have had quite a few people looking at getting the support for snoring issues, and we've been able to help successfully with that. For social inclusion, we can include items like school excursions, training courses, tools of the trade to get back into the workforce. Energy efficiency. We've got solar panels, water tanks, and the opportunity to replace items that are not efficient anymore. We can use the WA NILS to reduce your carbon footprint and certainly reduce the energy usage within your home. You can call and ask us about specific items, especially if you don't feel that something fits within these categories. Every client is going to be looking for something for their situation, but don't ever be afraid to ring and ask us about that. So how much can be borrowed? Our loans in Western Australia are between $200 and $1,500, but we have got some limitations. For those clients that are experiencing unemployment and they might be on the New Start allowance, we've certainly had to reduce that amount that we believe that $1,500 would put somebody in further financial hardship. When you consider that they're paying a high level of rent, as well as trying to meet their day-to-day needs. So for New Start clients, we've actually capped it at $800. And again, that is because we're following these responsible lending principles of not putting people into further financial hardship. We do anticipate and expect all our loans to be repaid, and basically once one loan has been repaid, you can certainly apply for another one. We have a circular lending model so that the money that's being loaned out to one client, when that's repaid, it's available then for somebody else to be using, which makes this a very community orientated program. There's no waiting once you've completed one loan. You can apply for another one straight away. I think in the past we may have had something like a 12 months to 18 month waiting time, whereas now it could be a day. The day after you've made your final payment, start applying for another one. So the community lending principle is we'll keep recycling that money. Goes out and it comes back in and it can be loaned for somebody else. How does it work? The client goes out and they get the best quote that they can for the goods or the services that they need. The client then applies for the loan, and if it's approved, WA NILS will pay the service provider or the retailer for the goods on behalf of the client. The client then repays WA NILS, and what we use is the Centrepay system set up through Centrelink. So, once the loan has been approved, the client would receive a letter from us saying that the loan has been approved. They will also receive a Centrepay deduction form. Once this is signed and returned to our office, we then pay the retailer. Then the client will receive another notification to say that the goods have been paid for, and then they can make arrangements for pickup. On the other hand, if a loan is declined, what we do is we make sure that we're giving the client some reasons why it's been declined. We'll also give some strategies on how to improve their situation. And we don't say that they can't apply again. They can apply again when they've put some strategies into place and certainly improve their situation. WA NILS, it's a program that's available throughout Western Australia, and it's certainly going to help local people in the local area. In summary, I'd really like to add that, you know, I've been travelling around WA. I'm blown away by the amount of things that are going on in local communities. I just see that WA NILS could fit in there so perfectly for a number of different reasons. And one of them is meeting a need that's there in the community already, supporting each other in the community. So now all I have to do is show you how to fill out those application forms and get those applications into us for your clients. Okay, the first thing we have to do is go to the WA NILS website, and that is www.wanils.asn.au. You click on the agency's login. If you've never registered before, this is where your starting point is. What happens is your email address becomes your username, and you will be sent a password to log in. So your registration is the first step. Once you have logged in, you'll get a welcome message. On this agent's page, you'll be able to access all the information and look through the tabs at the top of the page, and you'll see all our documentation that's available to you. Take the time to have a look at these prior to doing your first application, because it'll give you a lot more information, just solidify the information that you've got so far. So when it's time to start your first application for a client, you log in and you click on the red box which says log in for a client application. You enter your client's CRN number, the client registration number, and press search. If the client has been entered in our system previously, it will come up that they're already in there, and you can continue on from there. If it doesn't come up, which if you're generally having a new client, that's the first time that they're registering, you need to enter their registration details. So you basically continue on, enter the client details. If the client is partnered, you must remember to include the second applicant, because the loan is for one loan per household. A partnership will show up in the Centrelink income statement, and it's also reflected in the supported housing rental documents. The information that you enter will automatically be populated throughout the application. So if you're putting in one adult with 2 children, that will populate throughout. So then the minimums will come up for an adult and 2 children within that household. When entering information into the system, if anything is incorrect, the system won't allow you to continue. It will take you back to where that mistake was. And what it will do is tell you the reason why and then ask you to continue. When you're putting in information, you also need to put in some contact details for at least one person other than the applicants, so that we have got a means of contacting that client if we needed to. User registration. Enter your client's details. This can be done prior to your client arriving for an interview. There are some information parts that you need to be aware of. One of our catchments is ethnicity. You will have a choice of 3 ethnicities for your client. And what we're asking is to capture this information because it's part of our funding deal. So you'll need to identify if your client identifies as being Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, whether they are a called client, which is culturally and linguistically diverse. So we're talking about the people that come from a non-English speaking background. And then the last group is other. So now we're going to start the application. So you press Start Application, and the first part is Loan Purpose. You choose the category from the drop-down list of which category it is that that loan item is going to be. We have suggested that clients get 2 quotes. Especially in remote areas, we're not really that worried. We just want the clients to have that opportunity to negotiate a good price for the deal. So the client can purchase up to 2 items to a total of $1,500. Except for those clients that are in receipt of a new start allowance, and the limit there will be $800. This next part of the application will now give you a loan application number. And when you send your documents in, it's really important that you include this number on those documents. We need to look at the bank statements in order to complete the budget. It's essential that we have as much information as possible from the clients about their spending. Clients may sometimes, for whatever reasons, try to conceal some information. Generally, that's fine because we'll have the evidence to support what is actually being spent by the documents that they supply. Please note, as you address the utilities, you will see that some of the amounts have been pre-populated. These amounts are set through research for the size of that family in that home. If you have evidence of the amount being less than what is populated, you can change that to the lower amount, and then on the right-hand side of that question mark, just put the reason why. And an example of that could be that somebody might not have gas in their property. So therefore, when it's populated as $30 for one adult living in the property, we know that there's no gas being used, so that can go to 0. And the reason on the other side of that question mark would be no gas in the property. We do encourage the client to disclose as much information as possible. But people being people, they sometimes feel judged for what comments they're going to make, and we really don't want to put them in that situation where they are feeling judged. You need to check the bank statements, and what you're actually looking for in those bank statements are dishonour fees, excess transaction fees, whether the client is using a payday loan, whether they're using pawnbrokers, hiring equipment, regular transactions, donations to charities, and any unknown movements of money and any incoming funds. The loan affordability at the end of the budget is worked out for you, so yay, you don't have to do that bit. You may notice on the form there's an additional information section. Use this if you need to clarify anything from within that budget. You will also need to supply what we're calling an agency support letter. At this point, you can save or you can continue with your application. If you choose to continue, just remember that you can't go back and make any changes to that application. But at this point, congratulations will be given that the client is eligible to apply for the loan. It's important though to remember that just because they're eligible to apply, it doesn't mean that the loan has been approved. Acknowledgements. This is where you need to explain to your client what it is that they're agreeing to. You can read it straight from there. I'm quite happy for you to explain each of these steps in layman's terms to your client so that they actually understand what it is that we're asking of them. The first part tells them that if this loan's approved, this is what they'll be paying. And then you'll ask them to choose which account they want to pay that money from any of the payments they're getting from Centrelink. Once you've read that to the client and you believe that they understand, you can put agree. So you press agree, then the application will move to the confidentiality statement. Basically explain this to your client. You guys are under confidentiality agreements within your workplace, as we are at WA NILS. So you're actually asking your client to allow you to share the information they've given you with WA NILS. Once the client agrees to this, you can move on to the next bit by pressing agree. The human services confirmation. This is the part where we're asking the client to give consent for us to access some of their information through Centrelink. We have a client liaison officer who has got access to some of the information from Centrelink. Without this signature and agreement to this part, we can no longer continue with the application. Most clients are quite happy to do this. So then once you've pressed that agree, the last page is about submitting your application. You need to indicate how you're going to send the paperwork in to us. It needs to come to us within 7 days, and you can upload them on the computer, you can email them, you can fax them, or you can post them. Once you've finished this application, you'll receive a copy via email. Keep that copy, don't delete it. Please print this and get the client to sign it, but don't forget to witness it. Forward all the documents to us. You've got 7 days to get those documents to us, and after that 7 days you will probably get a reminder if we haven't received anything. If you have any issues at all with the application process, don't hesitate to contact our office. Our staff are there and everybody knows the procedures and they can talk you through any issues that come about. The final step, you'll receive an overview of the application and you can keep that for your records. You can tick off on that list the documents as you're sending them to us if you wanted to. Basically what happens then, we receive your application via email, we receive your documents any way that you're sending them to us, and the process will be proceeded from when we receive all the documentation. We work on approximately 10 working days before we can give you an answer to the application. But in the meantime, if there's anything that we need or require further information on, we'll contact you via email. If you need to contact the client, then that's for you to do as well. Generally, if you've included all the documents, we're pretty good to go and we'll have the outcome to you within those 10 days. If the loan is approved, we'll be sending out a send to pay deduction form for the client to sign. Once we receive that send to pay deduction form back in the office, our accountant then makes payment for the goods or the services. We'll then send you an email letting you know that everything's been paid for and the client can organise the delivery or the pickup of the goods or services. And that's the end of the process because we're getting our money through the send to pay deduction form and we'll be getting that until the goods are paid off. The clients can contact us at any time to find out how much is outstanding, or they can contact us and we can give them a statement of what they've paid so far. Once a client has made that final payment, they'll receive a certificate of congratulations. This is a great tool for them to use for their financial competence in the future. They're also welcome to apply for another loan as the need arises. We have got about 60% of loan applicants are now clients that have had a previous loan. I'm really looking forward to coming out and meeting some more people and touching base with the people I've already met. If you've got any questions, contact us and we're happy to help you out. So thanks for now and I'll see you all soon. Bye.